There's killer whale drama. Not as much drama per se as it is someone finally tackled killer whale speciation, which is something that I feel like the entire environmental community was like, we're going to put that over there and no one's going to touch it. So currently there's one species of killer whale, and you might be thinking, aren't all orcas the same? Oh boy, did you think. So the proposal is for resident killer whales, which are the whales that live in the Sound by Seattle, and Bigg's killer whales, which also live there, but they have really different diets, really different genetics, really different morphology, to become their own separate species, those two. But if you thought all killer whales were the same, oh boy, oh boy. In killer whales, they commit to using something called ecotypes, which is imagining variation depending on the region that the animal lives in, and maybe its hunting behaviors and other things are a reflection of that environment. So the general types of killer whales are type A, type C, type B, and type D. Now, you don't have to have a degree in biology to be like, all four of those different types look really different. Now, don't you worry, because it breaks down even further for all of the different types. Here's an example just for the B types. It's type B1 and type B2. They're different sizes, they have different colorations, and they hunt different prey. Now, everybody's been kind of like waiting for this, thinking about it, and honestly, the piece of research that supports this is incredibly well done and kind of laying out their case for these two becoming a separate species. Now it's blown open the door of what do we even count as a full species? Do we have subspecies in killer whales? Or are we just going to keep saying ecotype? As someone on Twitter pointed out, you can't tell me that these two things look more closely related, and we count them as one species, as these two, which are separate subspecies. Now, defining what a species is actually really tricky, and we don't all agree on a definition. There's a joke that if you had 30 biologists in a room, there'd probably be 31 definitions of what a species is in there, but it does have real-world implications. So, for example, we split African elephants into two different species in the past few years. We created savanna elephants and forest elephants, and what that meant is that African forest elephants are incredibly endangered, and new resources have to be redirected to protect them. And while it does mean that a lot of these killer whales can end up being classified as critically endangered, maybe it's worth it so that we can protect this amazing biodiversity.